Hello everyone, it's Darla. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing pretty good. I've recovered from my little minor meltdown over my new job last week where I was having a little bit of an anxiety attack. Things have settled in, and I'm doing good. And today, I'm going to be fixing a lamp. It's a flexible, arm-mounted reading lamp that mounts on the wall by our bed. We got one on each side. And it's a three-way switch with low, medium, and high. And the switch inside is broken. You can feel it doesn't click properly into the right detent positions when you turn the knob. So we went to Home Depot and we purchased a replacement three-way lamp base socket with the turn knob style, which means it has a knob on the side as opposed to a pull string or a push button. And there's some basic instructions on the back about how to do it, but yeah, we're going to show you how to do it without reading all that. It's not that hard. I've done these before, and it seems, honestly, if you don't need a three-way in here, you're better off just going with the regular off and on socket. They last a lot longer. The internal mechanisms in the three-way are a lot more delicate and wear out easily, and that's partly because you click them more often when you're using them. To get from off to on, you have to click it, like low, medium, high. You have to click it 4 times to complete a cycle. So you're actually rotating it twice as much every time you use it. And we'll get into that more when we have it off. I can show you inside of it a little bit better in details. But clearly the first thing you want to do is cut the power to this before you work on it. And clearly you can see, since it's laying on my dining room table, the power has been cut. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the knob, which just screws off by turning it counterclockwise. And you want to save the knob because the knob is a generic and interchangeable one. Since it came with the light fixture, you're going to use the old knob on the new switch. So we'll just set that aside. And then next thing we're going to do is remove the shade holder, which is called a harp. It's called a lamp harp. We're just going to squeeze it a little bit, and it pulls right out. There you go. And the harp pulls out. We're going to set that aside, which now allows us access easily to the inside. And since there's no screws on the bottom of it, that's a hint of what kind of mounting it is. These can have, like I say, this one has a screw mounting on the bottom. There's also a couple different kinds of mountings, but not that many. But what happens is we're going to leave the base in. It's probably a pressed or welded fit base that's mounted into the back here. We'll see when we get it out. But generally speaking, to make the process easier, I don't change the base on these. I just snap out the top part of it. It's a press fit, like a compression fit. You can see right around the rings and the little snaps here. If you wobble it back and forth and pull on it, this part here will come right out. And let me show you that right now. I'm going to set the phone down because I don't have my tripod handy, but I'm going to grab a hold of it here. I'm going to pull and wiggle, and we'll see what happens. Alright, we're back. I used a pair of side cutter pliers. I grasped it on the edge here and wobbled it back and forth until it popped loose. It didn't come all the way loose yet, but it's a 2-step process. Now that it's loose, we can grab the brass outer casing and slide that off. Alright, that's the protective outer casing. We'll set that aside. We won't reuse it though because we have a brand new one in the package. And that will expose the actual housing itself, or the actual light socket itself, which is the defective part. And we're going to spin that around until we can get to the wires on it and take the wires out so it'll actually come right out. It may involve having to press a little bit of the lamp cable through the bottom and pull on that at the same time to get a little bit of free cable up so we have a little bit more room to work. Let me see what I can do with that. Alright, we used the pliers to grab a hold of the wires and we pulled them up a little bit, and that's going to give us enough room to connect them to the new switch. Alright, and here's our new switch assembly. Oh, you can see in the background I've been trying to feature some of my favorite YouTubers in the background of my videos lately. And this is Greg's Game Room, one of my friends from Florida. And he does a really fabulous job of remembering and talking about the vintage gaming systems and showcasing some of the videos of the movies and games from back in the day. And talking about accessories and mods and different platforms where you can still play the games on. It's a really fun channel. If you love video games, especially classic video games, you should really check out Greg's game room. So here's our thing. What we're going to do is we're going to pop that apart just like we did the original one. We're going to set the base aside because we're not going to use the base. And then, just like the other, we're going to pop the brass cover shield off of it. Set that aside because we're going to use that because that's the new brass cover shield. It has a cardboard liner in to protect it from shorting out. And then we have the new socket assembly. And you can see it's a little bit different. The three-way one is a little bit different than the standard off and on. You have the outer base of it, which acts as your part of your grounding circuit. And then you have your big one inside, the big terminal on the bottom, is the connector for the center stem of the light bulb, which is your high watt part of the light bulb. And then off to the side there, you see that little silver dot right there? That's a secondary contact for the lower watt part of a three-way light bulb. So what happens is it starts off in the off position with no contact to either of those terminals. Click it one time and it sends electricity to that little terminal for the low wattage light bulb part of your three-way. Click it a second time, it moves the power from there over to the main terminal for the higher wattage of your light bulb. Click it a third time, it sends juice to both of those terminals to give you the brightest setting on the light bulb. So let's say I have a light bulb I just picked up that's 30, 70, and 100. I put the light bulb in here, I click it one time, it sends juice to there, which is 30 watts. I click it a second time, it sends juice to there, which is the 70 watt filament. And I click it to a third time, it sends juice to both, which is 30 watts and 70 watts, which equals the 100 watts. That's how the three-way works. And I say that's the most delicate and trouble-prone part of one of these fixtures, is the switching mechanism inside that diverts the power from 1 to 2 to all three, then back again. And you can even see inside the old plugs a lot of times that terminal there will get very corroded and wore out because of the constant flow of electricity going through such a small contact. The larger center contact never usually has much trouble because that's so big and robust, but the three-way one there for the low voltage or low wattage circuit doesn't have the carrying power for the amperage, and it tends to get corroded and kind of messed up after time. And I say as well as the actual switching mechanism inside gets wore out from all the extra use the three-way circuit requires. So we're going to put this back in now. We're going to connect the two wires to it, and we're going to press, well, I'll show you. We'll connect the wires to it, then we'll go from there. Alright, now we've secured the two screws and the wires there. The next step is to replace the protective brass cover plate, and you find the cutout for the switch, and you just slide it all the way down like so until it's as far down as it'll go. You rotate it, grasp it and rotate it around so that the switch lines up with the cutout over on this side here, and then pushing it down firmly until it snaps into place. Alright, when it snaps into place, I use the palm of my hand, push down snugly while wobbling a little bit. You'll feel it just snap right into place, and when you get done, your hole for your switch should be right here where you can access it. We're going to put the knob back on and the lamp harp, and we'll be good to go. And there we go, all assembled back together. Now we're going to take it, mount it back up on the wall and plug it in and see how it goes. So we're going to look at the parts of the lamp here just so you understand again one more time how it all goes together and comes apart. This is the protective brass casing, this is your base of the lamp, and this is the actual switch mechanism for the lamp. Now the switch mechanism slides up into the protective cover like so. It goes all the way up in there, and then the base is a press fit and it snaps over that. You hear it snap into place, and that's what actually holds the lamp in place in the fixture. Show you, come up close here if you can. This third terminal down in here, get my little pointing screwdriver. Can you see where the screwdriver is pointing? That third terminal down there can get corroded and wore out, and sometimes it helps to clean it, but on this one here it was actually the mechanism inside was broken, so it's easier just to replace these for $6. It took me what, 10 minutes at the most. The lamp is fixed, and now you know how these work and what can possibly go wrong with them and how to fix it yourself, save some money, rescue that.
Well,
show me on the camera.
What? Oh.
No, not front, no, sideways. Keep it sideways.
Oh.
Show my face.
Okay.
All right, you know what to do. You can fix this yourself. You can save some money, rescue that lamp, and keep enjoying it for years to come.
And make your wife happy.
That too. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Okay, everybody, we can see the wall sconce has been mounted back in place on the wall, and the power is plugged in, and we're about ready to give it a test. We don't have the shade on yet. The shade's being cleaned right now, but we're going to turn it on. 1 click for low. Ooh, look at that. 2 clicks for medium. Oh, even brighter. And 3 clicks for the full 100 watts of power. Look at that.
Who wants to see that good?
A nice, firm twist mechanism here. I mean, look at that. It's like got a very satisfying click to it as it moves through the positions. This should last a few more years. The job well done. Wouldn't you say, honey?
Yep, great.